Welcome to session 11, titled Towards an Institutional Culture of Quality. I am Professor Ovajaje Juliet Inegbidia. Now let's look at the focus for this section. We're going to look at it in four different perspectives. First is the classification of terms. Another that we're going to look at culture and quality. Then we have building institutional culture. We're going to look at the policies, processes, and procedures. We're going to look at the third part, promoting students and learner satisfaction. And finally, we're going to look at the staff role in promoting institutional culture. Now, what is culture? In National Open University of Nigeria, we have the values, the principle, philosophy, and belief that bind us together as a people and that guide our day-to-day operation towards accomplishing the vision, mission, and the core objective of the university. So right here, we want to look at what is quality. Looking at quality, we're going to see it in four perspectives. First, we're going to look at quality as fitness for purpose, fitness of purpose, value for money. Now, looking at quality as fitness for purpose with the National Open University of Nigeria, we're looking at how what we do we meet with the vision, the mission, the objective, and the core values of the National Open University of Nigeria. So, with that, everything we do, we ensure that it speaks to the vision, mission, objective, and the core value of the university. And we have the fitness of purpose. And before National Open University was established, it was established to meet a particular purpose. And in this case, we are looking at it at the national and international level. And how is what we are doing at the university level meeting with the national demand and international demand, meeting with the standard that have been set at the national and the international levels. They will now look at the value for money. In the area of value for money, we're going to look at this in two perspectives. First, we look at it at the perspective of the institution, and secondly, at the perspective of the student or the learner. Now, the perspective of the institution, you have run an institution because you want to still make some gains, because you need money to foot the bills and carry out, meet up with the required expenses. And how do you get this? It has to do with the number of students that are enrolled in the program. So, in this regard, you discover that you need more students into the school for you to get more money that will help you run what is required. And for you to get more students into into your program or into the institution, it means you must have quality. And it's that quality that will drive in the number of students you get could be associated with the quality of what you are rendering, of the service you are rendering. Now, to the student part also, the student wants to gain some experience, knowledge, so that they could improve on the value that they will get outside the educational system. So, in this case, how much is the knowledge they are getting from the institution putting on their table? And this could be drawn from how well they are being sourced, how well are they now graduates sourced, who looks for them. So with this, we discover that we must be able to measure their impact, their outcome and impact based on the quality of what they get. Then lastly on this, we're going to look at the transformation of learners. How well have the learners been transformed where they are leaving the university, which is a graduate? So this is a positive change of learners at the completion of their studies in now. This is the core which drives the institutional activities. Now, we look at what is quality assurance, therefore. Looking at what is stated there, I say quality assurance could be seen as a continuous process of evaluating the quality of an institution's system and through which the institution guarantees to itself and stakeholder that its teaching, learning, and other services are consistently of a certain standard of excellence. So the driver is excellence. You must maintain that excellence. The university now is concerned about that excellence. to ensure that every service they provide yesterday, today, tomorrow, there is that excellence in it, which will help to attract the stakeholders. Now, looking at quality assurance in National Open University, we're going to see it two perspective. We're going to look at it as the internal quality assurance and also as the external quality assurance. So, as a university, what do we do as internal quality assurance? Is to have a continual process of self-assessment. The university self-assess themselves from time to time. And doing this, we work with the area of looking at the compliance level, looking at monitors, the activities that are being done, and evaluate the activities. And through the evaluation, you are now able to take a decision to know whether we are meeting up with the set standard or not. And this is what is done continuously. And where there are gaps, what do? You now improved on those gaps. And that helped us to keep on the excellence that is required. Then the second part is the external quality assurance. And the aspect of the external quality, this is a summative evaluation process. So what you have at the internal quality assurance could equally help you to attain the level required at the external quality assurance. And in this case, you will have institution being monitored to adjust and accredited against a set of minimum standard and benchmarks. And now this is done for us through the National Universities Commission. They come in to do resource verification before start of program. There, when the program is on, you come in, you do the accreditation. There are set standards that should be met. And outside that, the university also have a link with some international body for quality assurance. So in the external part, we will have two types of quality that assurance that could be carried out in terms of institutional accreditation and program accreditation. So for you to have this, you must be able to meet with the set standard. Now, here we have a framework that is used in the National Open University of Nigeria, and this framework has five categories. The first three works on the monitoring, and the last two works on the evaluation. So the input, activities, and output is to monitor, while the outcome and impact is for evaluation. So let's see how it works. Looking at the components of the framework, the input, you look at the students, the human resource, learning infrastructure, equipment, and facility curriculum, and you look at the course materials, student centers, and the study centers in the funding, because the study centers is key when it comes to National Open University of Nigeria. It's a grassroots where students easily relate. So now let's look at the activities that are involved. When you have brought in the input, what are the activities that will now move on that will help to determine the quality? From the input, the quality measurement have started. So you now have to look at the course delivery process, assessment, learner support, administration and management processes, research activities, community service, collaboration and linkages, and quality assurance. In the area of quality assurance, right here, everyone is involved. So every category, every department, every study center, they are involved. So you must have a way to quality assure what you do. Now, the outputs that came down to the number of graduates that are being produced and the quality of the graduates. That is the output look at for how many graduates, how many enrolled, how many were able to graduate successfully, and what are the quality, apart from being able to graduate this S and Y number, how many of them, of the way talk in terms of quality, can really stand to defend their certificates. Now we have the outcome. The outcome comes as a change that occur over time because of the output, because we have sent out these graduates. How well have these graduates now been able to perform, to demonstrate the skills, the knowledge they have gained while in now? So in this case, for us to test it, we rely on the employer's report and also the request from employers to come up as, oh, we need the now graduate because we find them doing very well. And this you could follow up using the tracer study. Then lastly, we have the impact. This impact is a long part. What are your graduates, now graduates, what are they helping to improve on themselves and the economy and the society? For example, if you say how many now graduates have developed software that has a long impact on the society. So we have had some graduates coming up to develop one thing or the other that will help to impact. Sometimes it could be a product, sometimes it could be service. Now, we have to look at building institutional culture. The first thing when you want to build institutional culture is to have sets of policies that will guide all the activities, both academic and operational activities. And in National Open University of Nigeria, our policies are key. We have policies that guide all the academic and operational activities. This you could find on the website of the National Open University of Nigeria, and you go to the section of the Directorate of Quality Assurance, and you see all the policies there. Then you have processes. There must be processes that will be put down on how this policy is going to work. And finally, you have the procedure. There must be a step order that specifies how to perform an activity within a process to obtain a specified outcome or output. So when these are in place, then you are creating institutional culture. People are not getting to know, okay, this is how we need to do it, and everybody will be doing it the same way. So right here we have some guide to policies we have it now. We have the categories, and we have 6 categories of we classify our policies: institutional governance and management, human resources, teaching and learning, collaboration, partnership and linkages, research, innovation, and technology and community service. So all the policies are classified under this category, and you have numbers for them. Now, to know how these numbers work, we'll have them here listed out. The N stand for now, Q stand for quality assurance, S for Senate, A for approved, then the POL policy. Then you now have the other acronym now that now stand in to measure the categories, like we have IGM, HR, TEL for teaching and learning, CPL, and so on. But note that any policy that have not received Senate approval will not carry the letters SA. It means there is no approval yet. Now, what are the processes? Here are the processes. The processes are in line with the categories that have been classified, because these are the things you do. These are the way we classify. We have teaching and learning, we have media and tech, we have institution. So all these you must carry: human resource, collaboration, and research, innovation, and community service. Then we have the procedure. How can we walk through this process to ensure we are able to get our product as required? Remember, the products are our graduates. So, what do we do? Because we are going to be measured by the performance of the now graduates. So, the first thing we do is to have what we call the standard operating procedure, SOPs. What does the SOP help to spread out? All the activities and steps that will be taken in carrying out all the activities in the various directorate units, center, department, faculty, and all. Then after that, we have quality assurance officers who help to check for the compliance of the SOP to know whether the staff are doing what they said they will do. And we have the monitoring officers, the QA officer that will serve as monitoring officer and evaluate the performance of those things. So through the evaluation, we're able to gather a report which will now help you, the university, to take a decision to identify gaps, know the level of performance, and know where there are gaps and what to do to fill the gaps. Again, we have the use of performance, staff performance metrics with the use of key performance indicator to monitor staff performance. So right now we have a platform that is called Now Quality Management System. And there we'll have the KPI that is aligning with the standard operating procedure that will be used to measure staff effectiveness and their efficiency. So with that, we turn out the output. So here, how do we get the student involved? We're looking at promoting students and learners' satisfaction. So the first thing here is that you will make sure you align what is done with the institutional vision. Because if you don't align with institutional vision, you may not be able to capture the mindset of the students and the learners. Then secondly, meeting learning needs of the learners. And there are different ways you can meet the learning needs of the learner, from the academic support for helping to find out the administrative support and the like. Then lastly, we have to talk about the evaluation, evaluating learners' learning experiences. And this will help to identify the gaps and means of improving the learning needs of the learners. So you don't wait until when the learner graduates or failed out of the learning. So as they are learning at the end of each semester, this is the work of the coordinators. They have to check how well the learners are performing in the courses they are coordinating, and where there are lacks, they have to follow through and take the proper precaution to ensure that the learners are able to improve, and that helps to reduce attrition and dropout. So right here, finally, is the role of the staff. Everyone has a role to play. So when you're talking about institutional culture, promoting institutional quality is the business of every staff. Irrespective of your status, irrespective of your grades, everyone is involved. So with this, all you need to do is to get involved with what you are told to do and do it well. And while doing it as a staff, every time you must have the focus of the vision, the mission, objective, and core value of the university at heart. And right here, I want to say thank you for your attention.